going on YouTube? GuardedKam here from Team KYP. I just got back from locals with my other teammate, Captain OJ, and I went there with a deck that hasn't probably seen a whole lot of play lately, but I've been trying to make it work very well with different archetypes. And the one I found it most worked well with was Dangers and Sky Strikers, because just how the deck works, like Buster by himself with everything that he's with, is very kind of slow because a lot of his stuff reacts with traps. So you got your like most decks you have your main searcher and everything, but I did very well out of 19 people. I think I topped 8. I just got there, but I went 2 wins, 2 losses. So, but I guess I tied. I would probably tied for 7th because I guess 7th had the same ranks number. But yeah, but because of Master Rule 4, Buster got really slow, so I had to kind of improvise with some tactics. So, I mean, it works. It really works. Like even because I have 2 versions. This is like the budget. I don't know. This is the actual like the danger model, and then I have a mekk-knight one, which is more budget, but they both can do the same thing technically. So they both work with each other. Like one just pretty much just swap out the danger archetype with the mekk-knights, but mekk-knights have more like disruptive plays, dangers as well, but dangers get more bodies on the field sometimes and extra draw power. But let's get to the deck profile. Just keep watching. So just like any other deck profile, we'll start with the deck, the extra, and then the side. Side is always preference, just because of how most people either play their deck or want to function. But it's not too expensive, this extra deck. I mean, outside deck, but it's up there a little bit just with some of the stuff I threw in there. But yeah, we'll start with the monsters first. So you play. Well, I'll get rid of use token. You know, you play Sky Strikers, you need a token. You play 3 Whelp. Whelp is your main searcher. It searches any destruction card that you have. It can search out your traps. It can search out your monsters. Even the Buster, if you run the Buster Destruction Swordsman. But normally I wouldn't run him anymore because I find he wasn't working as well. But yeah, and it's also a tuner, so if you have to go into a natural Buster Dragon, it works, and you can use it for anything. Also, it sets up your link plays, like even if it gets ashed or whatever, you can go into, usually it gets ashed, it won't get ghost over it or anything, but you go into this, and then you can go into your link rebuild play. Or, there is another option, if you have a Buster by the chance in your hand or in the grave, you can tribute it and special summon it as well. So it always works. Like this is your main searcher. This is like your main play. You need this almost all the time. Like if you don't have that and you don't have at least your trap or any setup, it's gonna be a fun game. But then you go into your dangers setup. Like you need all your dangers to go off. Like hopefully you get your draw power because then it digs more to your deck. Even if it gets discarded, like a lot of the stuff that for Buster needs to be in the graveyard. Trap, monsters, everything, even the fusion trap, it all has to be in the graveyard centric. So this is your searcher. If it gets on the field, the body, or if it gets sent to the grave, it's an extra search. You got your Tsukinono. It's also an extra body, like an extra draw power. Like that's how these, if you know dangers, that's how they work. They all work by discarding themselves, but not hopefully by their own effect, but then they get the special summon themselves, then draw a card. So you also, it's either you get a draw or you get extra body on field or an extra card in grave. They all work very well. Like that's how the dangers work well with the Busters. My teammate Captain OJ actually suggested I put the dangers in instead of the mekk-knights because of that they're very graveyard centric, just like the Busters, because they need to go off very well. If not, Buster has a hard time. You run 3 Jackalope. Jackalope as well is another extra body on the field. Even if it doesn't get on the field, it's bringing something else on the field. As long as you get a Link 2 for this deck, that's all you really need. You can go beyond, but then you're really pushing your luck. You're on 3 Ash. Obviously, just stop anything that's gonna try to stop you. You run 2 Buster. You could run it at 3, but even at 2 sometimes I don't like it because it can clog, and you need these guys most of the time in your deck for the trap to resolve. Because if you activate the trap and you don't have a Buster in your deck, it doesn't resolve and you can't even activate it. It needs to send a destruction card and Buster Blader to the grave. So you always need a Buster in grave. Like, even for the other trap to activate, you need the other one. I run 2 of the other whelp. I ran him at 3, but it's a lot of the times he would clog and you don't even want to see this guy in your hand. And you could, even at 1, sometimes you don't want to see it, but he tends to get there more or less than not. But he's also a good, he's a good level 1 tuner. You can go into your Buster Dragon as well. And he also helps go into your Abyss at the end, like if you're trying to save your Buster Dragon. It also can be equipped to your Buster Fusion, and it closes out your opponent's extra deck, so you can't really use it. I play 1 Bigfoot just for either destruction and extra draw, because even if he doesn't make it to the field, you still get a pop. I play 1 Thunderhawk, same thing. He can destroy. Well, him is face up, his is face down destruction. 1 Mothman just for an extra, hopefully an extra draw. Hopefully you get that one. 1 Chupacabra for recurrence. You can always bring it out and get hopefully another. You get a graveyard revival. Then I played a small Sky Striker stuff. I played a 3 engage. You have to, like, engage really helps, because then if you get engaged, it's a 1 card Alistair. Even though Drone is a 1 card Alistair, but this is like an extra thing. And you can, if you have a graveyard filled with spells already, you can already get this free draw. Twin Twister, back row removal, because Buster has a hard time dealing with back row. Like any traps or spells or anything that could hinder him. So you always gotta run spell removal. 2 Called. I could bump it up to 3, but I had the 3rd in the side, just in case, depending on the deck I'm playing against. This is just to stop recurrent stuff. Because usually with the Buster lockdown, it locks down the whole field, so you don't even have to be worried about field presence. Because usually, unless they have weird, usually the Buster lock is locked. Unless they just take everything, but usually not. Run 2 instant for either Millennium Eyes or Thousand Eyes. Good monster removal if you're going 2nd by chance, if you get placed 2nd. It also doesn't mind, it's a pretty decent steal and snatch, or it can even set up the Link Karibo place. Depends on the scenario. 1 Foolish, send anything that you need to the grave. Buster Blader, any of your whelps, anything that lets the trap become live in the grave. Regeki, monster removal, even though you don't really want monsters removed because Buster can attack directly. Usually he's got to attack into a monster. He does piercing, so he can get beefed up pretty fast because he's like 2800 beat stick, plus he gains 1000 attack per dragon. So you kind of want monsters in the field, but Regeki just in case. 1 Mind Control, it's with the instant fusion thing, just in case I have to make a monster removal play. It comes up now and again. I used to have it at 2, but I cut it down to 1 just for the instant fusions. Card destruction, more or less, just in case I need to, like, I'll either use it to bait out an Ash, or I'll use it with my own dangers just to set off most of their effects. Most of them all, because then this is like making them active right away instead of me helping my opponent pulls them out. Monster Reborn, kind of self-explanatory. Reborn anything you need. 1 Drone, so your 1 card Alistair if you really need to go into it. 1 Widow Anchor, those are the targets for engage. Just to make Gage obviously live. I could run 2 Widow Anchor, but I don't see a point. I'm just using it as a small engine. This is almost as a back row disturbance in case I have just, if I sit on like a link 2 or link 3, and then I'll steal their monster, hopefully with enough spells, or at least just negate something, and then just go on with my play. Like usually I'll send the stuff to the grave with my other my traps and everything. So you run 2 Destruction Sword memories. This is your fusion from the grave. You you don't ever really want to see this in your hand or on your field, unless you by chance have a way to get it right to the graveyard. You want to always see this, hopefully in your deck, descend, or just always, this always has to be engraved because this is your fusion. Like you could run poly, but this is just so much better because it is searchable, and with prologue you can send it right to the graveyard. So this always has to be in your grave. You use this to your fusions to get him out. If you don't get this there fast enough, you lose on your win condition. So the main card of the deck, prologue of the Destruction Swords. This is your trap that sets up. Like this is like, yeah, it's like a 1-card synchro. You activate this. You send materials. Usually. Depends on what you have in your what in your graveyard. Usually you'll send this with a whelp or a bust. Well, no, yeah, you have to send. With this, you have to send a buster and a destruction card. So the destruction card could be anything. It could be the trap, could be the whelp, or even the other buster that you could run potentially. But I don't run it. But yeah, this sends that, and then you get a synchro buster dragon on the field. Usually I summon in defense, so most people can't run over it. It's got a big booty. But yeah, this is your playmaker. This is what starts everything besides your whelp. Like this is, you get everything else, and then while this is going on, you can chain this right off the bat and fuse right into your buster. So when they both hit the field, you got negate right away. You don't have to wait. You could wait until after. Maybe they'll try to call by the grave something. You can react within the chain and get your synchro and your fusion out. So it's very good. It's very, like, most of the times I play this, I get my board at least with an Alistair or a Deco Talker, and then have this set and either a whelp or something in the graveyard and get the plays going. So move on to the extra deck. So you run 2 Buster Destruction, Buster the Destroyer Swordsman. He's the main fusion. When he hits the field, if your opponent's playing dragons, they're gonna be very sad. But usually when you have the Buster Dragon combo, he turns everything on your opponent's side of the field, like they control, into dragons. He negates them, throws them in defense, and he gains 1,000 attack for each one in their field or graveyard. So he can get bumped up pretty fast. The only thing that sucks is that he can't attack directly, because it pretty much could be a game ender anyways, just for him. But it kind of made him slow, which doesn't make sense either. But he can just, like, if you attack it to a 0 attack monster, zero defense monster with his piercing, that could be close to game, because 7,800 into a monster is pretty hard. And he's the big boy. You want him out as fast as possible, along with the Buster Dragon, to get the lock. 1,000 eyes restrict and 1 millennial eyes. 1,000 eyes restrict if I want my plays to go off my searches. 1,000 eyes for steal if I have to, like steal a monster, just removal that I need, even just to bait out some things to try ghost over me or something. Then I can go into my Link Kariba plays. So your Buster Dragons. This is what turns everything into dragons. You need this on the field with your Buster fusion. Because once that happens, you get the field lock where they can't activate anything. Because it's not even an activation either. It's just continuous. So it's no matter what, it's always going on. You can't really stop it. So these 2 guys, it's pretty good. Yeah. And then also, the only thing though with the trap is at the end phase, it does destroy him. Not the end phase. The end phase is your next turn. So say you activate this on your opponent's turn, you get another turn, and then it gets destroyed. But usually you try not leaving this on the field that long. Usually you'll try, either you can link it away, or you can synchro with it again. Usually if you go with the dark tuner, I go into him. So I get an extra negate on board. If by chance you really need it and you push for game, it's a good beat stick to go into. But yeah, so those are your 3 synchros. You could go into more, I guess. Depends on how you want to play. But that's how I like to play, and it's worked out very well. You got your Link Kariba. I only run them at 1, just to get the play started. You usually just need one of the whelps, or yeah, just one of the whelps, or even the Thousand Eyes or Millennium Eyes. You got your one Kagari. 1 is good. It's because I don't, like I said, it's just a small engine. It's just to get plays going. Run 2 Alistair, the Invoker of Madness, just because he's the easiest link 2 for this deck to go into. That requires just 2 different types and attributes, which could be a Whelp and a Danger, even Buster by chance if you really need to. If you have, depending, because there's so many archetypes running in this deck that you can mix and match. Even just a drone gets just the card out. I run 1 Wee Witch's Apprentice just because 2 Dangers gets into this card, or even by chance you have to really normal summon your really shitty Whelp. You can go into that as well. Deco Talker just for game, go for extenders. I also run Barrel Load. It could be a Barrel Sword, but in testing, I would rather just have Barrel Load because it could just take monsters, at least with because I don't really, I mean the extra killing power of Barrel Sword is good, but it could leave me open for something, because if I would have run the Barrel Load last time, I could have just, I lost the game because I didn't go into him. But yeah, with Buster Fusion and this on the field, you could just take, and then there's like a not as good monster, you could just slam into it with them and you could take all the damage. And then I won 1 Avram, the mekk-knight Crusader, just because you could go into a lot of extra deck monsters. Like I said, like you could get rid of your Buster Dragon, or like anything that you don't really need anymore, because I mean you always do need Buster Dragon on the field. It's just you don't want him being blown up by his own effect. So if you let that happen, then it's kind of a waste. You always try to want to use him on your next turn just so he doesn't die by his own effect of the trap. So we could go on to the side. The side, I said, is very conditional. It all depends on how you want to play. I've noticed this deck has like sometimes certain decks can get like, depending if I go first or second. I've noticed if I go second, like another match, I'll add in the gnomes, because this will stop like my opponent from going into anything. So they'll be locked with their monsters being stuck in defense, the effects negated, and they can't go into anything. No links, no fusions, nothing. So this is good. Like, it locks down decks. This is a good hand trap. I used it in testing. I've used it even on my friends. They don't like seeing this card when I pull it out. It's not fun. Even I've had to deal with this card, and it's not that fun when you get it used on you. I run 3 Kaijus, 2 Gamma Seal, and 1 Dogoran, just as a small like engine, because sometimes I'll swap out certain cards just to keep good board removal. I have this whelp, and this is the 3rd whelp I took out just as a side, just in case. But this whelp also locks down your opponent's graveyard, which is good, but he's not searchable as a dragon because he's actually a spellcaster. But he's actually good. If you could get the Buster lock with just these 2 onto the Buster Fusion, you can lock out your opponent's extra deck and their graveyard. So you'd have to find a way to get rid of these. And the trap prologue protects these guys if you banish it from your graveyard. So they could even not get destroyed at the whole turn. So it's very good when it's ran properly. I run 3 Kaiju Slumber. As I said, board wipes sometimes. I'll get the 2 Kaijus on the field and they go off from my place because I know they can't stop me if they can't stop the Slumber. Dark Hole, like I said, monster removal sometimes, just in case. 1 Called by the Grave. I run a 3rd just because certain decks, like for recurrence, like Salmon Greats, like this. I mean, this deck can shut them down pretty easy. It's just that I don't want their stuff trying to keep coming back, so I'll just get rid of them. A 3rd Twin Twister, obviously, because this deck has a hard time with back row. 1 Destruction Swordsman Fusion. This is a searchable fusion, pretty much like a Super Poly. But pretty much with the whole field being dragon, and you have a Buster in your hand, you can actually activate this on your turn, their turn, fuse with them and get your fusion out for almost free. So you don't have to banish it either. So it's pretty good. I run it at 1 just in case sometimes, like, especially if I'm going into a dragon deck, I'll switch it out and just use it to my advantage. And 1 anti-spell. This could probably be switched to anything, but I played Sky Strikers and I kind of wanted to slow them down a little bit, but I didn't actually get to activate it. And then against my buddy too, Captain Oja, I didn't get to activate it against him. It would have been nice, but in all, it was a good testing. I only got to put this deck fully together today to actually get to play it and do well in top 8 was pretty good. I'm actually going to do the budget version as well and show you how to like with mekk-knights and everything, because this deck, like I said, I can show you a fast play of like all you need and like a good opening hand. So this and like that. This is like this is the perfect hand. If you want a perfect hand, this is the perfect hand you want. And even any danger, like say if you're going second, anything is better, because then all you need to do is the call by the grave could be, instead of that, it could be any danger. Like let's go with, let's see, for the hell shit to hell of it, something, doesn't really matter. So this is perfect. So if you have this in your hand already, you can bait it out, or even just go to your instant fusion, get your. Actually, let me hold this upside down. This is upside down for you guys. And instant fusion. Get out your money wise, so they can't try to get you to your card. Search. Get your prologue. Set. Link for 2. As long as it gets off the field, you don't really give a shit where it goes. Go for your Alistair. And then you can also, even after that, you can activate. You could set this too. Activate that. Get an extra, hopefully draw or search or whatever. And then on your turn, flip it. You send the materials to grave. So you can send this and a buster. And right there, as it's hitting the grave, before your buster dragon even hits the field, you can chain this, banish those, and they both hit at the same time. Well, not at the same time, but they're like 1 and then your dragon 2. So then there's your lock already, your soft lock. And this could protect all your destruction cards, so they can't really, like if you attach, like let's say you have one of these guys in your grave, you can attach it to him, can't use extra deck. Or if you have the other one, this guy, you can attach to him, they can't activate their graveyard. So it's a very good deck. I like it. I wish it wasn't as slow as it was or is, because it's very hard to work with sometimes. Like I've been testing this deck for like ever, so to actually get it properly functioning, it's been one hell of a trip. Like I call this, at first I was calling it the Buster Blader and Friends, but my friends actually like the term Danger Big Knife, just because of Buster Blader. But yeah, hopefully you liked the video.